Hey guys, Mr. Drake here, recording another brief video to try and give you some idea of how to do your assignment for this week. You're gonna be doing the same thing all week, but I'm gonna break it up a little bit so you don't have to do any one bit on too much on one day. We're gonna get started today and tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we're gonna finish it on Thursday and Friday. That way you guys don't have to spend all your time going through every single source and writing your note cards. So, real quick, I don't want this video to be any more than 5 or 6 minutes. So, we're going to go over our preliminary reading and our note cards. We're going to try and make it so we don't ever have to look at our sources again beyond this week, and we can put all of our important information on some note cards that we're going to make on Google Slides. I have a template for you guys. Again, your research paper is tentatively will be due June 1st. That may get pushed back. We'll see how long it takes us to get through. But I put in a little bit of wiggle room there. Remember, your sources are available to you here at this link. You are doing this on your own. You're not working with a partner. You're not working with your friends. You are working on your own because this is going to be your final exam. So we're going to work on our reading and note cards today. Our first one is going to be due on the 12th, and our last two will be due on the 14th. If you want to do all of them all at once and turn it in on Wednesday, that is fine with me. I may give you some feedback and some stuff to change. And you can work on that on Thursday, Friday. If you want to do one and then turn the rest in on Friday, that is also okay with me. So what are we doing? We are going to be doing our preliminary reading. That means we're going to really read through our sources all the way. We're going to try and get a basic idea of the subject that we picked. Remember, we could pick from those three topics: environmental issues, terrorism, and immigration factors. We are going to read the three sources that you selected and put on your works cited page. This is your chance to get rid of the useless information. Some of them are really, really long. You're not going to use all the information. This step is super key. You need to read and sort of kind of understand what your sources are talking about. You can highlight important information. This information is what you're going to transfer to your note cards in a second, and it can make your second task a lot easier. If you do not remember if you're not able to highlight on it, if you go to the source here, if you right click on it, you can hit make a copy, and you'll be able to have your own copy of the document that you can edit, you can comment on, you can highlight. Back here. Now, I have a note card template. You're going to put three things on each template. You are going to first add the main topic covered on each of your sources. Then, remember we did our works cited page last week? Some of you guys asked me why we were doing this before we wrote our essay. It's because we're doing all this work before our essay, so it's easy to write. Now you can just copy and paste that bibliography information straight from your works cited page. What you did last week can go right on there. And then third, this is going to be the heavy part of your thing today. You are going to write at least 3 notes, quotes, paraphrases. That means what they said, but in your own words. Each of those topics has guiding questions to help you look for things that I want your essay to have in it. When you take your notes, summarize important information. Changing the wording is paraphrasing. If you are going to copy it word for word, you're going to need to use quote marks and to introduce that quote. Big note here, do not plagiarize. If your paper comes back as super plagiarized and you did not credit the author in your works cited page or with an in-text citation correctly, then I'm going to have to lower your grade. We are not plagiarizing here. I'm having you write an essay. These people, the sources you're reading, they've already written their essay. They've already got that stuff done. I'm looking for what you think based off of research that you have done. Each source, you're going to quote at least 3 times. That means 3 things on each note card. Now, before we go into look at the template itself, I want to talk a couple due dates. You need to have at least one note card completed by Wednesday. The other two, you have to complete by Friday. Again, if you want to do all of them at the same time and turn them in Wednesday, that's fine with me. The goal of these note cards is to make it so you really don't ever have to look at the sources again. All you're going to need are these 3 note cards, and you will be perfectly set up to write your essay. You're going to have stuff. Each note card is going to be like a body paragraph in your essay, and it's going to make it super easy, just like plug and play for your essay. Just like kind of like math when you do equations, it's going to be like plug and chug. Easy. Now, let's take a look at our note card template. This is what we're actually going to be turning in. If you click on this link, it will take you there. It's going to tell you to make a copy like we always know we should. Once this loads up, we're going to move it into our Drake World History folder. Remember, always move your stuff. It's easier to find that way. Research paper, put it in right here. Hit move. On here, I want you to write your name. Then, here's an example of what I want you guys to do. This is for someone who's doing terrorism in the world. Your citation is just going to be copy pasted from your works cited page. Easy. Then you're going to put 3 things. They don't all need to, I don't need one quote, one paraphrase, one whatever you want to do. It's probably a good idea to have at least one direct quote, but it's not required. You are going to do this for you're going to make a total of 3 note cards for each of your 3 sources. When you put it down, tell me who the name, the author, and the page number. If there isn't a page number, it's not a big deal. Their sources are not that long. I'll be able to find it. So, again, one last time, what I want from you guys on Wednesday, the 12th, is one of these note cards completed. You can turn in one of these completed. On Friday, you can return in the exact same document, just with all 3 done, and I will give you credit for that as well. I also, if on your first one, I'm going to be looking to make sure you've done it correctly. If you haven't, I'll put some comments on there. I'll edit it. Look on Canvas for those things. Going back to our slides, here are some questions. These are the questions I'm looking for your paper to answer. Use these to help guide you in your research. So if you're doing terrorism, you're going to try and you have to define what terrorism is. You may use one of those sources to do so. If you're doing environmental issues, talk about some of the biggest ones. How do they affect people? Stuff like that. At the end here, I have some examples of things without enough info and some things with enough info. The ones that are bold here, like this, are enough info. The ones that are not enough info. So things like MySpace is the leader in popularity among social networking sites. Really? Is that true for this year? Tell me when this was true. I need a little bit more information here. Twitter is the second most popular social networking site. Number of people is important. It's cool that it's the number 2, but how many people are using it? If it's a number 2 social networking site and only 50 people in the world are using it, is it that important? Probably not, right? So tell me how many people it is. An example of a good one is MySpace went from 20 million users in early 2009 to 2 million users in early 2012. See how it has a number of users, it has dates, it has a lot more context for the information. Context is really, really important. It helps us get a good idea of what we're looking for. Now, you can probably stop the video here if you want to. This has been enough information. You kind of got an idea of what we're looking for. I'm going to go through the other 2 cards with some good examples, some bad examples. If you want more information, stick around. If you do not, go ahead, work on your stuff. I will be in my office hours from 9:30 to 10:30. If you click the link at the beginning of these slides, it will dump you right in. You don't need a password or anything. It'll just dump you right in. If you need me and you don't want to hop in my office hours, email is good. Remind is great. People who message me on Remind get their answers much quicker than the people who email me or message me on Canvas, just because I get it to my phone and I can answer really quick. So I strongly suggest that. If you need to meet outside of 9:30 to 10:30, that is also okay. Just let me know. Most of the time I am available to meet. I just need to know when you are available. So if you're good to go, bye. If you want to stick around and watch me go through these ones, here we go. A couple more things without enough information. 50% of those women were known as victims of sexual exploitation. 50% of who? Of which women? We need more context here. What kind of women? Was it women who wear comfortable shoes? Women who wear high heels? Who are those women? I need a little bit more information in your paraphrase. A good example, in 2014, 40,177 victims of human trafficking were detected between 2010 and 2012. Again, we've got years, we've got exact numbers of victims. We have years when this happened. We've got all this information. This is a very good thing. You're not leaving things out. Next, there is a genocide going on in Syria. The world knows this. If it's a genocide, how many people are dead? Who is being targeted? This is a very blanket statement. We are looking for a little bit more depth to it. There's a genocide. Okay, we know genocides are bad. Who is being targeted? Why are they being targeted? Those things are important. Those things are the things that should make it into your paper. The UN estimates 6.6 million people have been internally displaced. I need a little bit more. It's good that we have years. It's good that we have numbers. We don't have a year. See if your source tells you when this information was taken. See if this source tells you where they are displaced from. What does internally displaced even mean? It sounds like they've been moved somewhere, but where? Why? Why have they been displaced? These are some things. This is a good piece of information. It just needs a little bit more. And my examples. 1.4 billion over a 3 years. I should say over a 3-year period. Let's fix that real quick. Over a 3-year period. We've got, is it spent? This one has so many questions. What is it spent on? Who is spending it? Where is it being spent? Why is it being spent? When was it spent? When is this 3-year period here? All of that's important information. Don't leave that stuff out. You don't want your reader to be guessing what you are talking about. Next one. Egypt stands out for its large population. Stands out for what? Stands out why? Because it has a lot of pyramids? Because it has just a lot of people? How many people is a lot of people? Who are we comparing Egypt to in this statement? Does Egypt have a large population compared to the United States or compared to other countries in Africa or in its region? Next source. It's believed that going through FGM, which is female genital mutilation, you are able to have a baby or increase in fertility. So who believes this? Do women believe this? Is FGM something that women volunteer for? Is it something that is forced upon them? This paraphrase of a source does not have enough information to help us understand more about FGM. If it's believed, who believes it? Who is undergoing it? Who is it being forced upon? Is it being forced? Is it not? Here's a little bit of a better example. Around 130 million women alive worldwide have undergone FGM. Now, this is a good example, but it could be better. We could add things like where it is most common. Is it something that these women want to do, or is it something that's being forced upon them? There's things that we could always make our sources better, but generally speaking, you want to have a time frame, you want to have data, you want to have just as much context to the information as you can. So that's going to be the end of my little spiel. Hopefully it helps. Just one last time, we're going to do one note card by Wednesday. You're going to turn in this whole template on the Canvas assignment. And then on Friday, May 14th, you're going to, on the same template, turn in source number 2 and source number 3. On Thursday, Friday, whenever you come back to this, go look on Canvas on the assignment. You'll see I might have given you a comment. Double check for that comment. It might give you something else to do. But alrighty. I hope this helped you guys. Let me know. Message me if it did. I can keep making them as much as you guys need. Hope you guys have a great day and good luck.